satellites you're locking onto, road guidance, safety, telematics. If we had any of those enabled, we'd access that right here. This VT menu, if you needed to delete your non-volatile memory, you do that here. Kind of important. And then if you needed to reset your CAN tab right here as well, and if you needed to look at any of the about information, you could do that here or hit the reset as well. So no object pools. It's not full of garbage in that nav tab yet, so you don't need to delete anything. So that's just about everything in the diagnostics tab. We'll go to data management. From here we can select, we're in the import tab right away. So if we needed to import, you know, stuff from different machines, if we wanted to import crop setup data, that's where we could do it. Filter, if we only wanted, if we knew this machine was only ever going to run in 2 crops, and those 2 crops being soybeans and corn, we'd select those, and now whenever we select a crop type, it's only going to give us those 2 options. It's really helpful for saving time when you're switching crops, because then you don't have to page through the whole menu. So now the delete tab, if we have a bunch of growers in here or a bunch of different, you know, say we're full of storage, you know, I think we had separate, we don't have a whole anything in here really. We got an operator in here. So if we wanted to delete that first test, say we have too much information in here, that's how we'd go about doing it. A map icon, if you selected a field and you wanted to see, you know, different coverage, you know, data types, you say you wanted to see a yield map, this is where you do it. And you'd say, I want to see my yield dry, and I want to zoom in on a field. This is how you would do that. Just make sure that you actually have some data in here. This is a good thing to do if you want to recheck your yield maps before exporting them. Import to, if we were importing a prescription, you know, we have a couple different file types we can choose from to import right there. And then if we wanted to export, we could choose as an ISO XML, then we could choose what data we wanted to export out of here with a USB. Then apply, wanted to apply calibration, swath, if we wanted to look at our swaths, looks like we might have, well, never mind, we don't have one. But this is where we could update our swath source information or find out all the information on our one swath. So if we wanted to see, you know, what degree of a heading it was at, where the latitude and longitude points of it are, or where it's from. So if you wanted to import different, like a Trimble line or something into a Pro 700 display, and after we have it imported, we go into the swath to make sure that it's reading in here, and we could update its source type information. And then the backup tab over here as well, if we had any backup files, this is where we'd find them. Moving on, run screens, we kind of went over those, 1 through 6. So we can see that we edited, you know, number 4 to say GPS. And then the next tab, performance. So if we wanted to see, you know, how a field did for yielding wise, we'd go into this tab and we could write our notes as well if we needed to do that in here. Calibrations tab, very popular to do the heading in here for a lot of growers. If you're hooking up to a different header, corn header, bean header, draper header, whatever it is, you'd select header and go through the process of calibrating it. A lot of different calibrations in here. I suggest reading the operations manual if you want to know what each of them mean. For our GPS calibration, I always do rear wheel position sensor and steering valves. So that always helps to calibrate a combine. Area calibration, if you need to do an area calibration, you mark off a 400-foot area and you drive it. That's kind of a distance calibration as well. And then crop input, if you wanted to input values for corn crop, you could do that there. Moisture calibration, always do moisture first. Doesn't matter which one you do, make sure you do it first before you do a yield calibration. Then nav calibration, the only one we have in here is roll. So, and then the nav plus tab, if we ever, you're not going to need that with an AccuGuide system. So next tab, VT, if you had anything hooked up like a head sight box to watch your header deck plate position sensors or right cart box to do row guidance. You would see that menu in here. Combine info, here it gives us all our total area that we've harvested, engine parameters, electrical parameters, hydraulic parameters, drive parameters, header parameters. Common issue, if you have a steering angle sensor that went bad, you'll see it here. You'll start turning your wheels and this number will never change. Header parameters, feeder, threshing parameters, cleaning parameters, grain parameters, residue parameters, RPM parameters, loss parameters, HVAC parameters, unload parameters, and exhaust parameters. So if you want to look at all that information, it can easily be found in Combine Info. Procedures, if you need to do a pressure load sensor check or a loss sensor test procedure. This is where you do it, right in the Procedures tab. And then Automation tab, that's going to probably need to be a whole separate video. So thank you. Bye.